Welcome back to another episode of Sidebar Social. I'm your host, Jennifer Grinke.
That makes me the co-host.
You're the co-host.
Okay. Co-host Dana Stewart here. Okay. All right. We're going to get into something fun today. We're going to talk about AI.
Ooh, AI, I like that.
AI, technology, how that has changed.
Yeah.
Well, specifically the law world that we live in, but even personal, we're starting to use a little bit of AI now, right? We're becoming friends with ChatGPT.
Oh, I made a picture of you the other day because he loves his dog so much, and it's Dana with his dog just on a bench, and I put in AI, draw a picture of Dana lonely alone with his dog and no friends.
So we got to give context to this, first
So
of all.
funny.
So I made a comment about we were out with lunch with somebody, one of our other attorneys at the firm, and I made a comment about how my dog was my best friend, like he was a buddy of mine. And anyway, Jen made fun of that because she hates animals, and she was basically like, "You're a loser." So then she got onto AI, created a picture of a lonely man with a dog crying on a park bench.
I did. But
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. AI is like taking over. It's everywhere.
So back to the purpose of the conversation. So we have a guest coming on today to talk about a particular, I'd say, platform called Our Family Wizard that has been around for several years now, but we've seen it take off in the family law world particularly.
Yeah.
Right. So our guest, his name is Stephen Bradley. He's here today. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So can you just give a short little elevator pitch on what Our Family Wizard is for those that aren't aware of it?
Of course. So Our Family Wizard is a co-parenting tool. It's available on an app on your phone or on a regular website because some people may have access to technology. This app allows you, this platform allows you to communicate. It's a closed messaging system. You can't change or alter messages. There's a calendaring feature, allows you to schedule different events, child pickup or doctor's appointments, things like that. And that's even color coded. So you can, at a quick glance, you know which one you're responsible for. We don't pick the colors, you pick the colors. But it gives you kind of a guide as to where to go with that. We have a My Files feature that allows you to keep like medical information, insurance card, pant size, shirt size, belt size, all kinds of things about your particular child inside there. We have a way for you to be able to make payments, to be able to have, instead of the checks in the mail, you can actually pay through the app as well for, a haircut or for, reimbursement for a copay for a doctor's appointment. We have voice and video calling. So like a FaceTime or a video call or a phone call rather. Not only do we have those features, those could potentially be transcribed as well if there's something contentious. But part of today, after COVID, we all went virtual. So virtual parenting time is actually a thing. So why not do it through an app or a platform where one, you have accountability, it can't be changed. Speaking of AI, we talk about deep fakes and people faking voice cloning and deep fakes. And so in our app, our program, you can't have a fake video. I can't put a child's face on top of my face as a parent and have this virtual parenting time. It poses the child. So it's got a lot of cool features like that. Messaging, the tone meter, it allows you, it promotes healthy communication. As you're saying something, maybe passive aggressive or maybe something that's just out of context, it'll flag that, say, hey, that's aggressive, that's humiliating. And now with Tone Meter AI, to your point, it actually will suggest, rewrite it this way. This may be a better way to write this. You can still send it, you can still be that jerk, if you will, but it gives you that prompt to have that healthy communication. So it's a wonderful tool.
So what I love about the Wizard is that everything's in the same place. And I know we have our own log on, the court has their own log on. And so you have access to it right away in real time if you want it. Before Wizard, we would just have like binders and binders of stuff. You remember?
Awful.
Yeah. So many pictures or just text out of context or people who don't know how to screenshot. So I think my favorite part about it is just that it's all in one place and you can access it from anywhere, really.
Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. And that's actually how OFW was born. It was born very organically, where they had 3-ring binders that went back and forth between the home.
Yeah.
One was for expenses, one was for communication. It was highly contentious. They just wanted to, get along without getting along, but have the attorney or litigator, deal with all the in-between stuff, whatever. So why not digitize something like that, to your point, and have it in one location that it minimizes the he said, she said, the back and forth. It's 100% accountable, it's accurate, and it's just a great platform.
Yeah, and I think what it is kind of like a one-stop shop for all co-parenting needs, So like Jen said, the communication piece, years ago, we would have clients when they're like, oh, I know I have text messages that would be good to use in court. Okay, well, they got to go through and scroll the endlessly scroll, find them, screenshot them, then print them or send them. And it was just such a long process where now on the app, the way it works is they can just, or we can just get into the portal and see every single thing that was said. And what I really like about it is that it can never be deleted or altered.
Correct.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest things we hear a lot or ask questions about is why can't I just text, or why can't I use Google Calendars? Well, those platforms weren't built for the legal purpose. There's ways to be able to alter and change those, delete those, backdate those, but also they're made for rapid response, quick, easy, SMS texting, stuff like that. No well thought out message, no attachments. It's just real quick chatter. But again, to your point, you have to go print all that stuff off. You still have to be able to bring that into the court.
Yeah.
All of it's PDFs. You can PDF by date ranges or subject type and just bring in what you need rather than 1,000 documents that you now have to go through as litigators.
I know before when a parent was going to a drop off, they'd sometimes have to prove that they were there because maybe the other parent's not showing up. So we were always saying, hey, go inside McDonald's, buy a Coke, get that receipt, prove you were there, take a picture, take a selfie, like do something to show you're there. And so another cool thing about Wizard is you guys have the check-in feature. Can you talk a little bit about that and just, how that's not stalking?
Absolutely. So it's not stalking. So check-in feature for that parenting time swaps. Again, a lot of judges and lawyers like yourselves would say, go buy a candy bar, Coke, meet at McDonald's, whatever it may be, to prove you were there. Well, we know through a lot of different litigations that have happened years past, well, he's always late, Your Honor. She's always late. She's never there. I lost my job. There's always some type of backlash. I was parked behind the restaurant. He was parked in front of the restaurant. Just playing these games. So we came up with a feature called, check-in feature. It's part of our journals, where our journals like social media. You upload photographs for different events, things like that, but you also can check in. So what that means is, like if you're on social media, you're on Facebook, you check into Starbucks. It's good to tell all your friends you're at Starbucks.
Right.
Same concept, but this is not a tracker. It is a moment in time. It literally, for lack of better words, opens up Google Maps, takes a screenshot, and closes it back out. I can't track you. It's just going to track that moment in time. Also, I can't game the system. I can't check it at my home and actually act like I'm at the McDonald's. You have to do it within a certain, distance of the front door. So it's a way to keep everything honest, keep it, wrapped up in that feature to be able to, again, have that accuracy and accountability.
Follow us and join the conversation on Instagram and YouTube at Sidebar Social.
And so you referenced the stalking, it kind of gets into something that you have an extensive background in, right? So can you talk a little bit about, pre-working for Our Family Wizard, what your career looked like? And I want to tie that into the technology you guys use.
Absolutely. So I'm retired federal law enforcement cybercrime. So I specialize in domestic abuse, sexual assault, and human trafficking with a component of technology. Domestic abuse and family law has a lot of similarities and parallels. The tools and tactics are the same, just the outcome may be a little different. When it comes to technology-related crimes, just in general, whether it be, again, divorce situation or not, it's often made out to be a mental health crisis. She's crazy. He's crazy. There's no way possibly I can do that. But let's kind of break that down for family law. When you first start dating somebody, we all play that 20 questions game. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite kind of music?
Right.
What high school did you go to? Well, what are those? Those are security questions. If I can answer those security questions, I may still get access to your accounts and make you think you're crazy. I'm turning the thermostat down inside your home. I'm gonna get access to your OnStar, finding locations to your vehicle, or just unlocking your door, something simple as that, just to make you double guess yourself. Am I really going crazy? No, they want you to think you're going crazy. So there's a lot of components to stalking or cyber stalking that come into this.
Interesting.
It's actually funny talking about my background to now. A lot of people ask me, well, how'd you go from a 3-letter agency to OFW? Well, they both have 3 letters. I'm not that smart. But honestly, I talk so much about negative technologies. Our Family Wizard is a positive. It actually counteracts a lot of the things I talk about, like the manipulation of communication through spoofing apps, the locations in photographs, just things that we see every day. And now with AI, it's even making it worse. So it really is it's a fun for me to be able to, talk about both the goods and the bads of it.
On OFW, somebody can post things kind of like on their wall on Facebook, right? So the photos, other people can see it. But then can you talk about the the safety risk doing that on a platform like, I won't mention names, but other social media compared to posting pictures on OFW, and how your platform makes that safe?
Absolutely, absolutely. So sharing photographs is a very big part of divorce today. Child's birthday, a milestone graduation, things like that, or just I bought him a new outfit. Well, hidden inside off digital photographs today is what's called meta or EXIF data. It tells you the type of camera you use, the aperture speed, direction, all kinds of cool things, including your locations. So if I send you a photograph, and let's say I'm in a confidential domestic violence shelter, I'm at my mom's house, my sister's house, somewhere that, again, privacy is safety. I'm kind of being off-grid or co-parenting, we're trying to anyway, but I'm now trying to send pictures with you as well. Why would I want to send my locations in my photograph to my co-parent? In Our Family Wizard, we have a journal feature. And that journal feature is like social media, it's like Facebook. We scrub all the metadata out of the photographs when they're uploaded to our program. If we need that metadata for like litigators like yourselves, you want to send us, a subpoena, whatever, we can get you that metadata if we need that. But the co-parents cannot see where each other is. And that's the benefit, again, because privacy is safety.
Is there any other app out there that you're aware of, like a co-parenting app that does that same thing?
No, there's not. There's a few out there, but none actually scrub the metadata to my knowledge. I've not found that yet.
And then with your app, and we can talk about Our Family Wizard, there is a subscription fee to it, right? And there are some, I guess I don't know if you call them competitors, but there's some other options out there that are, quote, free. But with your version, the messages that are sent back and forth from the parents can never be deleted, right? And can you contrast that with what you know of some of the other options out there?
Absolutely correct. And thank you for bringing that up. So our servers, so we still have stuff from 23 years ago on our servers. We do not delete anything. The user cannot delete information. Some of these other products that are out there, you can delete your own message. So if we're having a highly contentious, argument or whatever it may be, I'm quickly going to delete that so my attorney can't get that, or the judge definitely don't want to see that. So I can do that. Well, what's the point of using it then if you can delete your own messages? Our stuff can't be deleted. Also, we talk about free versus unfree. Our Family Wizard has a fee waiver. We will give the product to you for free if you have financial hardships. We've all been told since we were yay big that nothing's for free. In a day of, data is more valuable than gold, why make yourself the product? I mean, these are $1 million companies with several employees. How are they free? Ask yourself that very question. It's not a difficult question, because you become the product. If you're compromising your safety and your locations or personal information about you, that can be very, very harmful, especially in a divorce or a contentious case.
Yeah, with the domestic violence situation. Yeah, absolutely.
To learn more about Our Family Wizard, check out OurFamilyWizard.com. They're also on Instagram at Our Family Wizard. And Stephen Bradley of OFW is happy to connect on LinkedIn.
All right, Stephen. So Our Family Wizard has a lot of intentionally built-in, I think, safety measures, right? You would agree with that?
Absolutely.
Try to help the anti-stalking, things like that. So it's kind of an interesting segment now, having you on the show, because our last episode we had an expert in self-defense, a Krav Maga instructor, talking about things people can do, especially in a contentious family law case, right, to stay physically safe. But I think with your background, there are things that you could share with our audience to also help them understand a way to stay safe from the digital stalking. Do you mind talking about some of that stuff?
Not at all. And you're absolutely correct. I mean, our Family Wizard is an amazing platform, but it's just one tool. It allows you to be able to record and have accuracy for court purposes. But what about outside of court, where people are being followed? Again, remember that mental health thing where I'm making you think like you're crazy because I'm adjusting your thermostat. I'm doing things behind your back. I may be tracking your locations. The kids come home from school and be like, Daddy knows where you are. Daddy knows you went to Walmart today or whatever. Yeah. So there's all kinds, unfortunately, there's all kinds of tools out there today that allow stalkers or just people in relationships, even healthy relationships, if you want to call them healthy, to be able to track and stalk. I mean, there's more personal information in your cell phone today than your own home. But we don't take the time to protect ourselves from these outside threats. We hide behind like facial recognition and biometrics and passwords. But there's more personal information in here, medical information, financial information, personal photographs, all kinds of things than our own home. But again, nobody takes the time to actually protect that. To give an example, most people think this is a telephone. You probably would agree as well. This is not a telephone. Telephones went away in 2007. This is a supercomputer that makes phone calls. But we put antivirus programs and things like that, VPNs, on our laptops and our computers, but we do nothing for our phones to protect themselves. Well, again, in family relationships where I know your habits, I know what you do, I know what kind of phone you have, I may be able to put like spyware on your phone. So basically clones your phone. For $7, I can clone your phone. Anything that Jen sends to you or vice versa, I can sit here and read it as if her phone's in my hand.
Wow.
That's what we're talking about when it comes to technology.
We often have clients come to us and they're worried about being tracked by their spouse. And so the thing that I'm seeing often is there's an AirTag in the car,
Yeah.
there's an AirTag in the diaper bag, there's an AirTag everywhere. And so we often will send them to a PI. We're like, get your car swept.
Absolutely.
Do you have any kind of thoughts on that, or like maybe a cheaper way they could do that? Because I know that can often be expensive.
It really is. And this is, unfortunately, with the growth of technology, yesteryear we had GPS, satellites in the sky, and now we have tiles and AirTags that were called crowdsourcing devices. They work off of my phone and your phone and your phone and so on and so forth. So when these first came out, they really didn't have any safeguards to them. Apple was a very first company that put safeguards in place for like anti-stalking features. So we get these little pop-up notifications saying, hey, this might be following you. But not all of them work that way. If I have an Android phone, Apple does not talk to Android. So you may or may not get that. When they came out with iOS 17.3, I believe, update, they now have what's called cross-platform tracking, where it may or may not pick up on an Android phone.
Okay.
But to your point, let's just say I know that. The kids are coming home saying, Daddy knows you went somewhere today. You may or may not think there's an AirTag in there. Not only could they put an AirTag in there, there are several hundred videos today on YouTube that tell you how to remove the speaker from the AirTag. So when you get that notification, you're hitting play sound, or it's supposed to alert you after
Right.
72 hours. It's not doing that because there's no speaker inside there. So you're digging through the car, you're digging through different locations, again, thinking you're crazy, and you're not, trying to find these things that you know are following you. So to your point about hiring a private investigator or something like that, believe it or not, there's actually tools that the everyday person without a license can go buy. You go on Amazon, it costs about $45. You just put in a tracker detector, and there's several of them out there on the market that actually work pretty good. You can scan your car, your house, your office, and look for hidden microphones, hidden, trackers, any kind of a device emitting a signal.
That's a good pro
Yeah.
tip.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Stephen, I feel like it's time for a public service announcement.
Okay.
So this is going out to all the attorneys out there watching, and even clients or potential clients. Had more cases than I can count where we're in front of a judge asking the judge to order Our Family Wizard.
Right.
Then I hear from the other side, hey, they don't have a lot of money, can't really afford it. Let's use one of the free options. And then the judge usually considers that, help the audience break down how free isn't always free, or even better, and how OFW really is the cream of the crop in this.
Absolutely. And thank you for that, because we are the gold standard of co-parenting apps. So free is not free, as you mentioned. Free, if it's free, again, you are the product. Not only can you delete your own messages, but the company itself will delete things after 6 months. So your whole case could be gone. So you're spending all this money, or potentially, for attorneys, and go through a process, and then this thing you relied on the whole time is now going to cost you more money because we have to start the process over again, or we don't have the talking points we need. With Our Family Wizard, we have a fee waiver. We'll give it to you for free. We don't have to dumb down our product and make it less than in order to give you a product. It's something that we know today, especially, that people have financial hardships. So why not give them a top-tiered product for potentially for free as well, rather than just have to go through a co-parenting or a free tool that may be out there. These free tools, they're free on the surface, but we call them freemiums. You have to pay to print off documents. You have to pay to use certain aspects of that. It's basically cost you more money in the long run. So it's like playing a video game, as we mentioned, where you kind of have to play for another life in a game, or another piece of armor, or whatever kind of game you're playing. Same concept. They're freemiums. They're going to nickel and dime you. It's the Spirit Airlines, if you will, of co-parenting. Where again, our product is all wrapped into one, and you don't have to worry about nickel and diming.
Can you, I guess, give a little insight then on like what it's been for you, this transition from government agency, now you're in the private sector or the public, well, I guess that would be considered private sector. But anyway, and you're using some of your skill sets to help people going through family law cases. How does that feel? Like, is it rewarding for you?
It really is cool because my background. So I'm actually a cybersecurity and technology expert at Our Family Wizard, but I'm also a legal tech consultant. So I work with some of your clients as well, doing expert testimony, things like that. But it's been very rewarding because I get to take what I did in domestic abuse, which is horrible, and apply it to family, which can be horrible, but every day is different. That's the cool thing about what we get to do. Every client's different. Every situation is different. And I enjoy the company itself. It's a homegrown company, grassroots company. I have amazing colleagues, amazing coworkers that work there that support each other. It's not a sales, stab you in the back type of company. They're just amazing people. So it's really a cool, rewarding place to be. I have no regrets. So.
Do you feel like through the use of Our Family Wizard, you've been able to facilitate better outcomes for the users?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because so we have several thousand testimonials, on our website and different blogs where people say, "Wow, this really helped us. It saved us money. It helped speed up the litigation. It helped us through the whole process." Even though we've been divorced for 15 years, we're still using your product because we see the value in that. I actually have colleagues of mine that are healthy families that use our product because it's a good life management product, calendaring and things that we need every single day. So yes, it's a lot of great testimonies for that. And said it really is a true company that provides a positive benefit in a bad situation. We say we're here for the children, not the conflict. So take the conflict out and be here for the kids and the family.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate you. And I know we're huge fans of Our Family Wizard, and we'll continue to use you on our cases. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you both.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you,
it.
Stephen. All right, folks, we'll catch you next time on Sidebar Social.